Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to be showing you my updated makeup look using tons of my favorite products. And if you would like to know how I achieved this look, then please continue watching. So I'm going to start by priming my face, and my favorite primer at the moment is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Soft Blurring Primer. I like this because, as you can see, it's very lightweight and it truly does make a difference in the way that my makeup wears throughout the day. So on days where I want my makeup to last a little bit longer, I always go ahead and use this primer, and I focus it around my nose area where my pores are, and then with what's left I like to go on my eyes as well. It's like a little prep for me. Now for foundation, on most days I like to go super lightweight. Sometimes I skip foundation altogether and I just stick to concealer, which would be my Dior or my Tom Ford, but today I'm gonna use the Surratt Dewdrop foundation. I have shade number 5. I love this foundation. Just gonna give it a good shake. It is very light coverage, and that is what shade number 5 looks like. And I'm just gonna use a brush to apply this. This applies really good with a brush. I feel like if you use a beauty blender to apply this foundation, it kind of just, you don't see it at all. So a brush does the job well. And it just helps even out my skin tone. And I don't need much of it. They say 2 pumps when you push the back is enough. Today I'm using 1 because I'm going to be concealing and doing a bit of contour, so I don't feel like it's necessary to have all these thick layers of product. That is not what I usually wear on a daily basis, or even if I'm going out. So now that I have my foundation on, we're going to go in with a bit of concealer. Today I'm using the Dior the Skin Correct concealer, and I have the shade 1.5 Neutral, and I apply here. I mean, on most days I have this concealer everywhere, pretty much in the same areas, and then to cover up any blemishes, and I go ahead and blend that out. Now to blend out, I'm using this brush from, I believe, Real Techniques, and it's the setting brush, but it's nice and fluffy, and I like to use it to blend out my concealer first before going in with a sponge. And I just feel like, first of all, this makes the concealer last way longer, and it just gives me an overall very flawless application. And of course, on top of the eyelids with what's left. I like to do around my nose because that's where I get a little bit of redness, and on my chin as well. So some people like to do the contour first and then the concealer. I like to conceal first. What do you guys like to do? Let me know in the comments down below. And then I do my nose. I do contour my nose too. That's why I just kind of get the concealer everywhere around my nose and my T-zone. Like, especially if you go over here above the brow, I feel like it just opens up the face really nicely, and it puts the whole makeup look together really well. So on most days I'm also not wearing a ton of eyeshadow, but always some kind of shadow. So sometimes it's just the bronzer that I blend into my crease, and it just pulls the makeup look together really well. And after I'm done, I take with whatever's left on my brush, and I just like to go underneath the cheekbone. I feel like, and then when I apply my contour or my bronzer, it just makes my cheekbones more lifted and stand out more. And now that I'm finished blending it out with a brush, I go ahead and take a damp beauty blender, and I just get rid of any of the excess product that may be sitting on my skin. And this also helps pull the look together. We just blend, and you can see how much the beauty blender has picked up excess product, and that is exactly why I love to use it. So now moving it on to the cleaner side. And the reason why I focus it under my eyes so much is because I really wanted to pick up excess product. I don't want my under eye to look so cakey and full of makeup, but at the same time, I do want it to be nice and concealed. That has done a really good job. I'm gonna go in with that brush and just pat that blemish a little bit more. And next for contour, I use two different products. So on my cheekbones, forehead, all over, I love to use this Tom Ford. I've talked about this before. It is one of my favorites. And I kind of go back and forth, but for my nose and lips, I always use the Westman Atelier contour in the shade Biscuit. And sometimes I do go back and forth with this, so I'll use this all over, but this is a lot warmer, so I like to use this all over and I don't have to worry about the bronzer that I'm gonna put on top or how to warm it up further. With this, I feel like then I do definitely need to apply something over just to help warm up my skin. So I'm gonna show you for my lips, I kind of just go like this. And then I tap it in. And for my nose, I draw it on too, and then I use a brush, and I like to do it on top of my eyelids as well. So using the Real Techniques, this is the Deluxe Crease Brush. I'm gonna start by blending out the crease. And I do stretch it, you can see a little bit this way, to my temples because it really helps open up the eyes, and I like the way that the makeup look ends up coming together afterwards. And then my nose, I usually just focus on the tip of my nose, and then with what's left I stretch that out into my brow. So I love to do this on my lips. I love a lip contour. I feel like it just looks really good. Even though I do go ahead with other lip products over, I like the way that the makeup look ends up coming together. Now I'm gonna use this angled brush from Sephora. It's their foundation brush, and apply that Tom Ford. And I like to tap the product in first and then blend it out. And the reason why I start so high on my cheek and then bring it down is because I don't want all this excess to start in this area. It just makes your cheeks look a little bit droopy, and I don't like that. It doesn't help lift your whole face. And I do go ahead and use a beauty blender after I'm done with the makeup brush, so I don't worry about any harsh lines so much, but more focus on getting the product in the areas where I need it. And I do blend it into the hairline just to help everything come together and not to have any harsh white spots in your hairline. And this is literally so flawless. I love this product. And I have a bunch of contour sticks that I like to try, but so far this is definitely my favorite. And once we're finished with that, I'm going to do some on my jaw and bring it down to my neck. Even if you have a really good shade match on your foundation or on your contour, I love to bring everything down the neck. I highly recommend that everybody does this because it just helps you not have any harsh lines when you're going out and perhaps you're in sunlight or the lighting changes around you. It just helps everything look really put together. And I like to use a beauty blender more for the neck because the beauty blender just covers a lot more real estate faster. And then with the big end of the beauty blender, I go ahead and use this all over too, just to help avoid any harsh lines. And I'm gonna go back under my eyes just to make sure that there's no creasing there because I'm gonna set my makeup next. And to set, I am using one of my favorites. This is the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. And this stuff will literally get everywhere. You have to be careful with it. So I like to put some on the lid. And then I take a brush like this. This is a Morphe brush. And I set my chin. I set my under eyes. And this is so thin that you can use this all over your face if you would like to do that. I set my nose. And just in general, my T-zone where I tend to get oily. And I actually like to set my eyelids. And if I want this to be really brightening under the eyes, you can take a beauty blender and get some powder on there. And then set your under eyes. And this trick helps your makeup stay in place so much longer. And I feel like it makes the finish really flawless. So I like to go over with a beauty blender for that step as well. And just going under my cheekbone because I did put some concealer there. And this feels like just so silky smooth. I love this powder. I am actually really enjoying it. I've been using it for a while. I do switch between this and the Charlotte Tilbury, but this is a lot more lightweight. Now to set down the contour I did with the Tom Ford, I'm actually using the Tom Ford Glow Bronzer in the shade 02 Terra. And this doesn't have any micro glitters or any shine in here. It's more of a matte bronzer. And I'll show you. That's what that looks like. And I'm gonna use this fluffy brush. I'm really not sure where I got this from. And just dust it off. Do it on my neck, my forehead. I don't like to do my entire forehead because I like this area here to stay lighter, which just makes your face appear brighter. I'm rhyming. And on this cheekbone and on my chin as well. And to further set my nose contour, I actually like to use something that's a little bit more cool toned. And to set my nose contour, I go ahead with this Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm face palette. This has everything. I love this to travel because you have a blush, you have a highlighter, you have a contour and a bronzer. So I rather do enjoy this. So to do my nose, I'm gonna use the Sephora Pro Concealer 57 brush. Love this brush. It washes so well. I wash this brush almost every single time after I use it, and it never loses its shape. And I just focus on the tip of my nose and then stretch that up. And for the lips, you can actually set them too. I'm gonna use the deeper shade here and just do the top of my lip and then these corners on the bottom. And you can always go ahead and fix anything with what's left on my concealer brush. So that I like the way that my complexion is looking right now. And I always feel like I could use blush. I absolutely love to use blush. So for blush today, we're gonna be using one of my favorites, and that is the Armani. I have the shade 52, and it comes out like a lip gloss. And I put some on the back of my hand. The only complaint that I have with this product is I don't like the way that you have to use it. I wish that it came in a stick form or a pump. With products like these, I feel like when it reaches its end, you know, you're not really getting everything that's in there, but the color's perfect and it kind of goes on almost like a stain. It sets really well. I just feel like the shade is really good. I'm going to be using the Real Techniques. This is the Expert Face Blush, and I love to use this for blush. So I just work the product into the brush and kind of go really light-handed. Start from the top here and work my way down. If you start from the top and you work your way down, it helps your cheeks, as you can see, look a bit more lifted. And again, starting from the top and working my way down. This shade looks very natural on me, which is why I enjoy it so much. I just feel like it actually looks like I'm blushing. And I think if any of their shades stand out for you, definitely give it a go. I apply some over the bridge of my nose and then just kind of blend everything together. And I even do some on the top of my eyelids just to help bring my makeup look together. Love this. And I'm gonna go over with my beauty blender just to get off any excess product. And now that I finished with the blush, we're gonna go ahead and move on to some eyeshadow. So on most days, I keep it very simple. And what I like to do is actually use this Tom Ford highlighting shade. And I put it under my eyebrows and a bit in the corner of my eye. And I'm going to be using this Natasha Denona Camel palette, which is pretty destroyed at this point. My daughter loves this palette, but I go in with this shade here, which is called Saffron. And just focus that in my crease. And taking a thin brush like this is a Sephora brush. The name has completely wiped off, but I take a bit of that color and I go just underneath my eye. This is gonna be hard to do without a mirror. I go underneath my eyes like so, and you can see the difference. It just helps open up your eyes. And I do the same thing here. And from this line of shadows, I use the deepest shade right here, which is called Zegna, with the same brush. And I use this all the time for this reason. I like to use this as a liner on top because I feel like it makes the makeup look a lot more natural, if you were to say, and it doesn't give me any harsh lines on top of my eyes. And when I curl my lashes and I put mascara on, I feel like it just looks really nice that way. And it's also really easy to touch up and doesn't budge throughout the day, which is why I love it so much as a shadow liner. I just do a little bit. I start from like the middle of my eye and go outwards. And that just opened up my eyes completely. And with whatever is left on the brush, which is usually a small amount of product, I go just a tad bit underneath my eyes as well. And I'll go ahead and touch that up if I need it after I curl my eyelashes and put on mascara. So let's do that now. To curl my lashes, I always use the Tweezerman eyelash curler. I love it. It's simple. It works. I've had this one for a very long time. I have to have my eyelashes curled, even if I'm not even putting on mascara in a makeup look or I'm just rushing out of the house. I feel like curling my eyelashes it makes the world of a difference. Okay, now that my eyelashes are curled, I'm gonna use this Lancome mascara. I've been trying this out. It's not bad. I feel like it does help separate your lashes and it keeps your curl without making it droop way too much, but this is super natural. There's not a lot of volume in this mascara, and that's what the brush looks like. And I have to be like laser focused when I am applying my mascara because I really don't want it to get on my eyelids, and I really care about the way that my mascara looks. I hate when my eyelashes are clumpy and stuck together. So I have to make sure that I'm not applying too much and I'm really taking my time to separate my lashes. And I pretty much always apply some on my lower lash, and I actually like this brush to apply on your lower lash because it separates them really nicely. And after that sets down a bit, I do usually go in back with the deeper shade in the Natasha Denona palette, and I touch up that shadow liner that I just put on to make sure that it's really in place and to give it a lot more definition. So now we're gonna do lips. I always switch between lip products, but I have been loving this Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat in the shade Iconic Nude. And it's like the perfect brown pink nude. I like that it's not too pink, and it's a really nice nude. It's not too deep and it doesn't come off like way too dark on my complexion, but it's perfect. You'll see. I don't overline my lips. I only like to overline my Cupid's bow right here. So I kind of just do this and it helps me get the liner on perfectly. And then following my natural lip line, I go ahead and bring it down. And I also like to make this line in the middle of my lip here. And then with my fingers, I kind of just get the liner everywhere. All over my lips. And I feel like doing this actually helps your lipstick also stay on better, or your lip gloss. That is the lip liner, and for lip gloss today, I'm going to be using the Clarins Lip Oil. This is in the shade 14. This was limited edition, but there's tons of similar products. And I'm the person that would always put on like a nude brown lip liner, and the same thing for gloss, like either a clear gloss or something still in that nude family. And I've been wanting to bring in just a little bit of pink, and I found this actually going through my kit, and I'm like, why do I never use this? So I go ahead and apply this. It does help hydrate your lips, and it just gives it a little something. And now that my mascara has dried down a bit, I'm gonna go back in with that Natasha Denona. I'm using the darkest shade in the palette, and I apply it again on top of my eyes as eyeliner, because as I said, I just wanted to give a bit more definition here. Plus, I feel like sometimes when you curl your lashes, it can take off the eyeshadow. And last but not least, we're gonna do brows. I do my eyebrows super simple, and I'm gonna show you how. So I do use a brow pencil, and I've just recently started using this. This is the Dior Show waterproof powder eyebrow pencil. Usually I skip this step and I just use the Onset Brow. This is from Dior as well. So it comes with a brush at the end. I like to brush them out first in case there's any foundation, any concealer, any powder. And this also helps kind of shape my brows. And then I just fill in where I need it. So for me, it's just a tiny bit on the ends here. And I go in with a very light hand. I don't need much of this. And the same thing on this side. You can see not a world of a difference there, but it's just a little something. And then this brow gel I love because it has some fibers in it, so it makes your eyebrows look really fluffy. And the color is perfect for me, and it's very light in texture. It doesn't feel waxy. You can't feel that you have even anything on your brows, which is why I enjoy using it so much. And this is the Dior Show Onset Brow Longwear Brow Gel in the shade 032. And after I'm finished, I just kind of take a look at my face and see what else I like to do. I'm not gonna highlight today, but usually if I do, I use a highlight from the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. I have the shade number 1, and how I would do that is I fold my beauty blender like this, and I go into the pan, and then the excess I take off on the back of my hand, and then I go ahead and apply it that way. I feel like my makeup looks really good today. I just don't feel like I need highlighter. I have a nice base on. I love this blush, and the way that my lip combo turned out makes me really happy. And I just don't feel like I need highlighter. I will use a tiny bit on the tip of my nose just to show you. And for the nose, I usually just do it with my fingers. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for getting ready with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next video. If there's any products that stand out to you, any makeup products that you suggest that I try, please let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.